Thursday, May 18th, 2017, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Well, first of all, I'd like to say that's Billy over there. He doesn't show up on every video, but he happened to be in the study today, so he's sitting there. He'll probably fall asleep later on. Anyway, I'm going to start now with an early market update. And I also want to talk about SDR, world money, and cryptocurrencies. SDRs are special drawing rights. It's like a fictitious, in my opinion. It's just like a bookkeeping currency used by the International Monetary Fund, and I'll go into it later. Right now, back to the market. So it's around 9:30 a.m. London, so 4:30 a.m. New York time. So gold, 1256.75, down about $4. We closed around 1260 yesterday. We did get up to 1263.47 overnight, and the low has been 1253.73. So just a little correction after a big day yesterday. The Dow, 20,621, up 11. We have been up as much as 70 points. So it's actually come back down, the Dow Jones Industrial. S&P 2361, up 4 points. It has been as much as up 11 points to 2368, and the low's been 2356. So still, not recovering greatly after the big drops yesterday in the stock market. Silver having a bit of a rough time. I didn't think silver did very well yesterday considering what gold did. It just seems to be, like some kind of policy of capping silver at the moment, even though I've read stuff on silver doctors that there's been a lot of notices to take physical silver out of COMEX in this month of May. From the April contract. The April silver contract expired end of April, and then but if you keep the contract, you can give notice to get the physical out in May. So we'll have to see what happens to silver. Right now it's 1676, down 12. We've been as low as 1661. I did speak about the 1682 level. That's a key resistance. The high has been 1697.50. So kind of disappointing action by silver. Currencies, the dollar's rebounded a little bit against the yen. We're at 110.94, but it's been higher at 111.42, and the low is 110.52. My feeling is that the stock market is going to have a tough time again today. We might see some, intraday rallies, but my feeling is we're going to end lower again, and that the dollar is going to drop back down, against the yen. The British pound is doing quite well. We're back above 130 here right now. It's actually up 0.5% at 130.37. Just going to check here. We must have had some UK data, and that's why we're going up. Just 1 second. Yeah, UK retail sales came out quite strongly. Was expected up 1% on the month, UK retail sales, and came out 2.3. So yeah, that's why the pound is strengthened. The number came out about 7 minutes ago. 9:30 is usually the time that UK data come out, and that's why the pound has rallied so much back above 130, which is a significant number, significant level. What else? Let's have a look at what the cryptocurrencies are doing this morning. Bitcoin, 1826. So the 24-hour range has been 1806 to 1875. Litecoin, 2569. Ripple, 0.35. Ethereum up strongly. The 24-hour range, we are on the top of that, around 96. And the low has been 88. Steam doing quite well as well. at 0.911, up 8.4%. It has been higher though at 0.98, but it's higher than the low of the 24 hours has been 0.83. So that's the cryptocurrencies. Yeah, the political situation, I think there's some news yesterday, late yesterday, saying that John McCain, was not going to support the impeachment of President Trump. That was seen as significant. We'll have to wait and see. As I said, I think this is more based on, fundamentals, the economy, how overbought the markets are, and people are just talking about Trump and the Trump turmoil as an excuse, in my opinion. I think a lot of it is fake news anyway. I don't think the Trump campaign had any relations to the Russians. If anything, Hillary Clinton had more relations to her. But I digress. So now SDR, special drawing rights, that was created by the IMF back in 1967 when the US dollar was having trouble as a reserve currency. Because back then, countries that had dollar reserves, they could ask for gold, 1 ounce for every $35 they had. And the US was running out of gold because the US was spending too much money in Vietnam. The Great Society experiment by Lyndon Johnson. The US started running, trade deficits. So they came up with this SDR to try to, which is basically a collection. It's like an index of all the major currencies in the IMF. And each, member of the IMF has, depending on what reserves they have of dollars, they get some SDRs. And that's all it is. It's just like a world central bank money created out of thin air, but it's based on all the other crappy fiat currencies. At the time, still they had gold, but now we still have SDRs. And there's a lot of people talking, there's an article today I was reading on Zero Hedge, and it's from the Daily Reckoning blog, and it says World Money, 5 hidden signals from the IMF, and they're saying that the Chinese, who are now part of the SDR, and the IMF and the world central bankers, they're looking for the SDR to become the reserve currency if there's another major global financial crisis. I personally think it's ridiculous. It's not the solution, because SDR would be just a collection of rubbish, debt-based fiat currencies. Yes, it would take the strain off the dollar, but I think it would be even worse. Who would control the issuance of these SDRs? Some globalist organization in Washington, D.C., IMF, that has no, that the general public has no control over. It would be a nightmare, in my opinion. That's why I think it's important for people to diversify into cryptocurrencies, into physical gold and silver, to protect their savings or wealth. Maybe one day there will be an SDR, but it's not going to solve anything. When the Federal Reserve was created over 100 years ago in 1913, it was the same argument that the Federal Reserve would make the U.S. currency more flexible. It would end, financial crisis and bank runs. And look what's happened since then. Look at 2008. So this is the same reasoning that we'll have a world currency controlled by like a world central bank, IMF, and that it will make things more stable and more, and it will provide elasticity, or they use the word liquidity now, to a global financial crisis. I think it will be even worse. Look what happened after the Federal Reserve was created. Look at all the volatility it's created in the market. Look at how it debased, the U.S. dollar. The dollar from 1913 is now worth maybe 3 cents or a little less. So it will be good. You know, the SDR will be a great will be a great thing for the bankers and the central bankers, but for the public it will be even worse. You know, that's why you know, as an individual, you need to focus on being your own central bank. I still recommend gold and silver as reserve assets for individual central banks, if you want to call yourself that. But now you also have to look at cryptocurrencies. I think it's worth having them as well. So that's it. Let me see here where the markets are as I finish that. Yeah, not much changed since I spoke earlier. So gold as I leave here is 1257, silver 1677. The Dow is virtually unchanged now. Keep an eye on the dollar yen. You know, if the dollar drops against the yen, that's a signal that the stock market will come under pressure and that gold will do well. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, share it far and wide, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and if you want to watch me on Steemit, you know, instead of YouTube, there's a link below in the description. Take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.